Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you haven't been here before, my name is Debbie and I read a lot of books. Today's book is The Man Who Didn't Call by Rosie Walsh. I read this so quickly. I was obsessed. I probably read it for about 4 days, I think. But yeah, this is 350 pages in crime and thriller, general fiction and romance contemporary. It did not go where I thought it was going to go, but I'll read you the blurb and then I'll go into it. Imagine you meet a man, spend 7 glorious days together and fall in love. And it's mutual. You've never been so certain of anything. So when he leaves for a long booked holiday and promises to call from the airport, you have no cause to doubt him. But he doesn't call. Your friends tell you to forget him, but you know they're wrong. Something must have happened. There must be a reason for his silence. What do you do when you finally discover you're right? There is a reason, and that reason is the one thing you didn't share with each other. The truth. There's a quote and it says, "The love story of the year with a fantastic twist," and oh my god, the twist in it. It just makes you question every single thing you've just read. Yeah, so the fact that it has the crime and thriller, it's got that mystery to it, but then it's also a love story. Oh, it just brings everything out. Yeah, so you meet Sarah and you realise there was an accident when she was a teenager where she lost her sister. And while she is visiting the town where everything happened, she now lives and works in America, but she comes back to England at the same time every single year to see her parents and to see her family and some friends, and also to visit the place of the accident. One year she meets a guy on the green near where the accident happened, and they have a whirlwind romance in about 7 days where they speak to each other about everything, almost everything, and they share with each other lots of secrets, and yeah, it's like a proper whirlwind romance. And then you get the idea that, you know, was it just for the summer, or is it going to go beyond that? So when Eddie leaves and says, like, I will call you from the airport and all this sort of stuff, and then he doesn't call, Sarah goes into overdrive. It's just like, what happened? You know, because I thought this was going to be like the real thing. She's in her late 30s and she's just gotten divorced from her husband. She and her husband run a charity in America of clown doctors, where it's basically a case of you get these entertainers going into hospitals. They are medically trained as well, but they're also there to entertain the children. It's a real charity actually, and I think that's absolutely amazing that they can do stuff like that, because I think entertainment for children who are ill is such a good idea, because, you know, you're going into a hospital and the walls of a hospital can be absolutely terrifying. I mean, I've been in hospital a couple of times throughout my life, and even as an adult, when you're there lying on a ward, it's just horrible. So the fact that Sarah and her husband, or ex-husband, Ruben, the fact that they create this charity is seen as like quite an incredible, amazing thing that they can do with their time. And throughout the book you find out that Ruben has now got a new girlfriend, and you realise that Sarah is not jealous of the new girlfriend, really. She's a little upset that Ruben has moved on, but she actually really likes the new girlfriend and just thinks, oh, she seems really sweet, you know, there's a reason that me and Ruben broke up. And ultimately the only thing she's jealous of is the fact that he's moved on, because as everything after that week with Eddie kind of falls apart and he doesn't call, and she's trying to figure out what happened, you know, she's trying to figure out if he's ghosting her, which is what all her friends are saying is happening, or if something has genuinely happened to him. As everything kind of goes on, Sarah gets the occasional message and like hang up phone calls basically telling her not to contact Eddie, and you're just like, what is going on? Why is he not responding? You know, does he have access to his phone? Has there been an accident? And you're just like, what is going on? The first section of the book is done from Sarah's point of view, and then there's like 3 parts to it. So you've got the first part, which is Sarah, you've got the second part, which is Eddie. and then you've got the final part, which is set a few years after the main events of the book. Oh, I don't even know where to start, really. Because I think, like other people, I went into this book thinking it was like a proper mystery, and there is the mystery there. But it is ultimately a love story. So anybody who likes the murder mysteries but also likes the rom-coms, I think you'll definitely enjoy this. There were so many twists. I think there was like 3 really good twists as you find out kind of what happened to Eddie, why he won't contact Sarah. And you find out that you can't trust what you've heard from Sarah about what happened in the accident. And you find out how she was involved and who was affected, and you realise that the reason that nobody can make any connections is because nobody is using their real surnames. This is part of why you kind of can't add everything up properly. So there comes a point when one of the other characters makes a mention of something about like how they met, and you're just like, oh, was that person involved in the accident? Does this all come back to the accident, and that explains why they're not communicating with each other anymore? And then when you find out kind of the role that the accident played in everybody's lives, and you're just like, hang on a second, wait. So that explains certain wordings throughout the book about the accident, and just everybody's role in the accident gets completely turned on its head. Just when you think you know what's happened, you're just like, oh wait, no, I misinterpreted this completely. And obviously it's kind of, because of the wording used, it was obviously intentional to kind of misdirect the reader as to what actually happened. But oh my god, when that twist came out, I was just like, oh, okay, that is really clever, the way that I have been misled throughout the whole first section of the book. Oh, I really, really enjoyed it. It was so clever. It was such a good story. It had such good heart to it. Throughout the book, as you do get more information about the accident and how people have been treated and how Sarah has been treated for her role in the accident, and you're just like, Sarah has been treated atrociously throughout the whole events of everything. And you feel so sorry for Sarah, and you realise there have been people who have been misbehaving really, really badly. And you kind of want to grab Sarah and give her a big hug and say, this is not your fault. Because throughout the book you realise that she holds on to so much guilt about the accident. And people are saying, like, you know, was she trying to save one person over somebody else? And it's just like, it's like that hypothetical trolley situation where you just like, you've got 2 paths. You can either kill one person or you can kill a load of people. And it's just like, there is no right answer there. There's no right answer, there's no wrong answer. So what Sarah did with her role in the accident, it was the trolley situation. Do you kill that person or do you kill that person? It's just like, that isn't a decision to make. It's instinct. Just like what you do, it's not about one person over the other, or like one person is more important than the other, or one person is saving more than the other. It's just instinct on what you do in that situation. And she made a decision. She ultimately went for the person that she loved. And so how she was treated afterwards was truly terrible. This probably doesn't make much sense because I'm not really going into kind of what happened with the accident, and yeah, but this might slightly be giving away kind of Sarah's role in the accident when I say, you know, that she had a choice to make and that, you know, it's like one person over the other. But if I say too much, it does completely ruin the spoiler. It is a big spoiler for kind of that big moment in the kind of the end of the first section when you're just like, wait, everything I've just read is a lie. I find it so interesting when you have books that take you on this full journey and then just completely twist everything that you've read on its head, which is what The Man Who Didn't Call does in several places actually. Because at the end of Eddie's section, well, it comes to the end of it's kind of like the end of Sarah's section going into Eddie's section, and there's so much misdirection there as you're trying to figure out what has happened to Sarah when she's gone back home, when she gets a phone call that completely sends her into panic, and you hit, the last thing you see is that she stepped out into traffic, and you're just like, wait, is she gone? Has she died? Is she still here? And you see Eddie questioning what's happening. You're aware of a funeral that's happening in town, and there was one line in the book which I really, really kind of was like staring at, because Eddie's mother makes a comment about the funeral in the next town over and uses the name Sarah, and I was just like, wait. For a second I got confused about whose section I was on. It was just like, no, I'm definitely in Eddie's section, so why did she just mention Sarah? And I was just like, oh my god, was it her funeral? And then later on you realise that, again, it was a bit of misdirection. People who like twists, you're like The Man Who Didn't Call. This was such a clever book. There are times when you realise that you really don't like Eddie because of how he's been holding on to kind of a bit of a grudge, but then you realise he has been manipulated himself by family members, and it's one of those questions where you're just there thinking, should he cut that person out of his life, or as family, does he just need to kind of find a way to deal with it and move on? It does put so many questions into your mind as to how people deal with grief. And, you know, is it right to hold a grudge against somebody for the rest of their lives because of their role in an accident? Because when you see the guilt that Sarah holds on to, it's just like, this wasn't done on purpose, this wasn't malicious, you know, she wasn't trying to hurt anybody. But the way she is treated, you know, as an adult, after the events of the accident, which happened when she was a teenager, and just like, everybody is so horrible to her, and nobody seems to consider the fact that it was an accident. It was an accident. And she was doing all that she could to save the people who were involved, and it just went horribly wrong. Yeah. Oh, it was so good, it was so clever, it really did have me guessing. But yeah, 350 pages, it's got the crime and thriller, it's got the twists, it's got the romance, it's got something for everybody there. Yeah, The Man Who Didn't Call by Rosie Walsh. There you go, there you go. So the next review, hopefully, will be Me Talk Pretty One Day. Me Talk Pretty One Day by David Sedaris. I am reading another book on BioBox at the moment, and when I picked up Me Talk Pretty One Day, I didn't quite realise it was a biography, and I've got another biography next on my shelf which I got for Christmas, so I'm going to avoid doing that, and instead I might move on to The Lord of the Rings, which is what is the one after that, after my Christmas gift, which was the Michael McIntyre biography, which is signed, by the way. Oh, it's so cool. But yeah, so I might move on to The Lord of the Rings next, because I have never read Lord of the Rings all the way through. I think, have I got The Hobbit there as well? I have read The Hobbit before though, so I don't necessarily need to read The Hobbit, but I've got... it's a big book. It's all the Lord of the Rings books in like one big book. Yeah. Anyway. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not already. Hello to the new subscribers. It is so nice to see you join the family. I'll see you next week with another video. Stay safe, everybody. Lots of love. Bye.